Hey guys, welcome back to the Dungeon Masterclass. You've made it to video number 6. And today we're going to talk about the art of NPCs. You know, now that you have got the mindset, you've got the tools, the dice, the pencils, the paper, the graph paper. You created yourself a very small starting point. You created your first dungeon. You got the concept of rulings over rules. Now we're going to dive into video number 6, which is, I'm calling it the secret art of NPCs. And I think this is a place where a lot of new DMs get hung up. Okay, you think that you need to be some kind of actor or voice actor or some type of massively, you have to create these massively, elaborate NPCs, and you do not. We've all been there as players, right? When you walk into a tavern, right? You're playing a game, you walk into a tavern, and the DM spends 10 whole minutes, right, reading a monologue, about the bartender's, tragic childhood or something crazy like that. His estranged brother, in the Capitol, and his, secret bloodline or something like that, his inheritance. Meanwhile, you and your friends are looking at each other around the table, and you just want to know two things, right? You just want to know how much is a room for the night, right? And does he know who stole, the blacksmith's silver or something like that? Your players don't care. Okay, you gotta get this into your thought here. Your players don't care about your NPC's 10-page backstory. They care about how that NPC interacts with them right now. And today, you guys, I'm gonna give you guys a one trait rule. Kind of the ultimate old school shortcut, I'm calling it, to dealing with, unforgettable, to creating and having your players deal with unforgettable characters with zero backstory, unnecessary fluff. And so this is going to make your world feel alive. So let's get right into it. And you're going to be surprised. So I'm calling this the one trait rule. Okay. When you key your home base, right? And we start, and the whole idea of this series is simplicity and just starting small, then building outward, right? So like we talked about in video number 3, right? When we talked about the home base, right? You didn't write bios in there, right? You write 3 things on the index card, right? Or your legal pad or your graph paper, a name, a quirk, and a want, right? That's your entire NPC asset, right? So when you do an NPC, my recommendation is to start with the name, a quirk, okay, I don't know if you guys can see that, and a want, and that's it. Just like the home base. Boom, 5 buildings, right? Well, in here, and just like your, and just like your dungeon, 5 rooms, boom, right? So in here, it's literally get a bunch of index cards, put your NPCs on these. That's a good starting point. Index cards are great for a DM. And put the name of that person on there. And then we're going to fill out the rest here. So, when I talk about the quirk, right? So name, right? And I have this here. So I'm gonna show you a pre-filled out one that I have here. So I started with the name, and I hope you guys can see that. The name is Bob the Bartender. Okay, we're going to start with something very simple, right? PCs walk into the room, into a tavern. There's Bob the Bartender, right? Super simple, super easy, right? And so I'm going to give this guy a quirk, okay? And, give them one distinct or behavioral trait, right? You know, maybe they speak in a raspy whisper. You know, they have an eye patch, you know, aggressive looking eye twitch, or you know, something physical. You know, they constantly polish, a silver coin. They're holding a silver coin. They're constantly polishing it. Something weird like that. This gives the players an immediate mental picture. Okay, they're not tripping on like if he has wrinkles or no. They're concentrating on, wow, this dude is, you know, Bob the bartender. He's got an eye patch. You know, okay, the guy with the eye patch. It's something to bring them right out the gate. It's a quirk and a kind of a hook for them, right? You don't need a voice acting degree for this person either, and this gives, you know. You don't need any kind of. You just need this gimmick. You don't need a huge description for it. Bob the bartender with an eye patch. Boom. That's what I have on there. So I even added a little bit more that he's friendly, right? So his quirk is Bob the his name is Bob the bartender, and he's got an eye patch, and he also has. He's a friendly guy. Cool. That's a good start. Now, the third thing you'd put on there, right, is the want. Okay, the want. And I'm going to fill out a sentence in there for the want. The want is the engine that you're going to have for this NPC, right? Now, every NPC wants something right now, right? They have something going on, right? So, you know, maybe the baker in the town, you know, wants the town guard to stop stealing his pies, you know, something like that. You know, maybe the corrupt guard wants a bribe, wants to be that guy that looks away. Maybe there's the nervous scholar that wants someone to translate an old scroll for him. When an NPC has a goal, right, they immediately become an active part of the game, not just a vending machine of quests, right? So in my example here, like I said, I have Bob the bartender. He's got an eye patch and he's a friendly guy. You guys can see that. Let's see if it's focusing in there. Probably not. There we go. Maybe you could see that better. So my want for him is he's curious about what happened to Sammy after he went to the mines. Okay. If you know, those of you guys that know, you know. But anyway, so easy peasy. 3 things: name, quirk, and want. Done. That gives you enough to go with that. Number one, it gives them a name. Names are super important for an NPC, right? Super, super important. Number 2, it gives them a quirk, some physical thing for the PCs to remember. And number 3, it gives them a want, which is your engine for running that NPC. Easy formula. I challenge you to try it, and you'll have your stack of NPCs. Boom, done. And then you can build from there. So now, next thing I want to get to is the 3 types of NPCs in your game, right? I call this 3 tiers, right? So don't waste equal energy on everyone, right? Divide the population of your campaign into 3 tiers, okay? So I called tier number 1 the fixtures. These are your shopkeepers, your barkeeps, your tavern owners. They need a name and a quirk, right? They are the background of the town, right? So tier number 2 are the catalysts, right? So these are your quest givers and rivals, right? They need a name, a quirk, and a want, right? They are actively, trying to recruit or hinder the players, right? So they're more active than just the fixtures, right? And then the third tier is you got the wild cards, right? So What that is these are the random townspeople that, or prisoners in a dungeon, right? That you make up on the fly, right? You know, when the players ask, who else is in the tavern? You know, you could easily get a D6, you know, and grab your D6 and, you know, 1 and 2 is a grumpy veteran. Number 1, 3 or 4 is a nervous merchant. 5 and 6 is, you know, a shifty local, you know. Give them a quick name and let the dice decide their disposition, okay? And you can make up a, you know, later on you can make up a little random table for, you know, dispositions and stuff like that. And there's stuff online too. I also want to mention too, like if you're stuck with names, right? There's name generators online, you know, if you want to go down that route. But everybody can pull out a name. And it can be simple. It doesn't need to be some elaborate, you know, Tolkien Elvish name, or you know, maybe it does, maybe you want that. So those are my 3 tiers, and think of them, categorize them in that way. So another thing I think is very, very important, well, when you have an interaction with an NPC, try using reaction rolls. And I did a video on reaction and how to do that in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and I'll put it up here. And I think it's, watch that video and you'll see how easy it is, and it's all in the books on how to do reactions. Very simple, D100. Now, if you're playing BX, it's a very simple 2D6. Very simple table for Move. Use that, but because you know, in modern games, right? DMs are often decide exactly how an NPC feels about the party beforehand, right? I like to randomize that. I like to keep that random. That's why I use reaction, and I challenge you to use reaction. Now, in AD&D, we let the world surprise us, right? I like to be surprised as a DM just as much as my players are. That we talked about in video number 2, the mindset, right? So we use reaction, right? So, you know, when the players meet, you know, a stranger or negotiate with the local faction, right? Roll a D100 on reaction, or if you're playing BX, roll 2D6, right? OSR method. A low roll, it's going to mean, you know, immediate hostility or suspicion. You know, a high roll is going to mean that they're friendly, willing to help. You know, and there's factors in that. But yeah, check that video out that I have there. But I challenge you to use reaction. Use reaction, because it takes the weight off of you, and it also adds that randomness in the whole world that you're building. Randomness is fun. So the next thing I want to talk about is the friends at the table, your friends, your players, and how they can be co-authors. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of the final secret to NPCs, and a lot of people don't do this, and I think this is something that's really important, and that is that let your players do the heavy lifting, right? If the player says, "Hey, does my character know, you know, character know anyone here," right? Turn it back on them and say, "Yeah, you know the blacksmith, okay? How do you two know each other? And why does he still owe you 5 gold pieces?" Let them fill in the blanks, you know, because boom, instantly, that NPC has weight. History, he has and table chemistry. You didn't have to write a single word, right? So I do that a lot of times. You know, I'll ask the players before they even ask me. You know, they come into a town or you know, on session 0, and they know they're going to be here. Do you guys know anybody in here? Have you ever had any issue, you know, any dealings with this town? Do you know the bartender? Do you know, you know, Maid Marian over here? You know, it really is gonna. It helps you develop these, and you know, if you want depth, it just brings your table game to a different level, because now they have ties to certain people in the town or in the world that you're building. So try that. You know, it's a collaborative, cooperative game where you're a participant as a DM. Try that method. I think you'll definitely be blown away. So, all right, you guys. You know, when you simplify your NPCs, right? Role play stops being a script, right? You know, and reading and stats, you know, become you know, a dynamic conversation. You know, your town now is packed with characters your players will love and hate and remember for years. You know, in my campaign, there are people that NPCs that our players have met that they talk about for years. And that's pretty cool. And like I said, I'm a light prep DM, and I'm trying to teach you guys to start simple and then develop your story as it goes. And I start very small with my factions and my NPCs, and then the players grab them, and then they develop into something else. And that's what's going to happen. And it really just starts out with these three things that I'm telling you about. All right. But what happens when the conversation ends, right, guys? What happens when the conversation totally ends and the dungeon doors, you know, opens and the negotiation turns into a bloodbath, right? In the old school, monsters aren't just speed bumps in the way, you know, to level up, you know, a tool to level up, right? So in the next video, guys, we're breaking down monster ecology, right? You know, I'm gonna go down the road and show you guys how to take the basic stat block of a monster in the monster manuals, and turn it into, you know, turn a simple group of goblins into a terrifying tactical, you know, nightmare, right? That will make your players respect the danger of the crawl and the dangers in the world. It'll force them into decisions. It'll force them into tactics. It'll force them into thinking, right? All right, you guys will give your NPCs a want, roll for those reaction dice. Give them a name. Give them a quirk, and I'll see you guys at the table. All right. Click that next video for the monster ecology. All right, you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.